our girl Carole Baskin was fooled into her first public interview with fake Fallon producers. So there's these YouTubers that are, I think, from the UK that are convincing a bunch of celebrities.
No, they're Russian.
To like do interviews and be, part of Fallon, and they figure out different ways. And Carole Baskin is famously doesn't do any public interviews. So I think it was her daughter that convinced her, hey, you need to do this interview. Like Fallon's kind of a big thing. So what they did is they got her on the show and they said, you won't be able to see Fallon because we're doing some audio testing. So we're just going to do some test runs. We're going to do some test interviews. And what they did is they used Jimmy Fallon's sound bites to say, like, oh, how are you doing? What's going on? And they were playing the clips to like interview. Wait, did you have that?
That was the movie. No,
it's a belated. So like they were using Jimmy Fallon sound bites to just like interview her, and then she ended up talking the whole time. And I think they disclosed that it was a prank, that she thought it was funny. But like I don't know that I didn't watch the full video because I'm just gonna read the headline and then walk away. But with Tiger King in mind, the I think it's a show producers of a Netflix series called American Vandal, which I fucking thought was phenomenal. Like the first season is right now in the process of making a scripted series for Tiger King, where Nicolas Cage is gonna play Joe Exotic.
I saw that, dude. Ridiculous.
Dude, Nicolas Cage will play anything, dude. You give him a paycheck, he's gonna be it.
He's in debt, of course. What are you talking about?
Is he in debt?
He's in debt.
Why?
I don't know. He did something. I don't know if he did the Wesley Snipes thing with the tax evasion, but he's in debt, bro.
Oh, so that's why he's like just accepting
doing terrible Netflix movies. Yes. Not even Netflix. Dude. No, not even Netflix. Netflix movies are
like
good.
Straight to DVD movies.
Straight to VHS, bro. Like he's bad. I don't know what he did. I don't know if it's tax evasion, but he's like bad for money. That's why he's doing bad fucking movies.
Did you watch Tiger King?
Yeah. Me and Amber watched it. I think she was watching it, and I kind of poked in, and then like 2 episodes in, I was like, "Wow, this is nuts and interesting." So I started watching it, and then we also watched the the after show. Like they did an after show with somebody, and they interviewed all the people to kind of talk about how like Joe's in jail and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it with Kat, and I was like, I get it, but like I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I wasn't interested.
It's not a show. It's not a show. It's a documentary. So if you have that in mind, like, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think it's interesting for what it was, but me being the hipster I always am.
I forgot.
I didn't feel like riding the hype train. I pick and choose what hype trains I want to ride. And
in 20 years, you'll start bumping Tiger King. I get it.
Carole Baskin.
We'll be bumping it, dude. Yeah, and I don't know. I know I watched it alongside Kat, and then it was like I understand when shows are like enticing and they grab onto you, and then they're like, oh, like this is like a big epic moment where the fucking shed's being burnt down and the alligators are getting killed and shit like that. And then I'm like, I get it, but then I I know documentaries are like they're over embellished just to build a TV series. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when it's a documentary, it comes off phony. Like while like a TV series, I'm almost expecting it's the writers having a really good imagination, while a documentary is just like lying, I guess. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, documentaries versus.
Yeah. What was that documentary that came out? I can't remember the name of it, but it was talking about the person who was falsely accused for a murder. I think it was How to Make a Murderer or something like that.
Yeah.
And like,
those are real murderers, I thought.
Yeah, but they were apparently falsely accused. But then like the lawyers came out and they were saying that they were withholding evidence and withholding like the other side of the story. So I think after that documentary, I stopped watching ones that were so biased. And I try to, if I watch a documentary, it's about like something historical, because I feel like whenever that bias is there, you never get the other side, and it's hard to believe. It's the same reason I can't watch reality TV, because there's so many things that are implanted within a TV series. There's so many things that are implanted within a TV series. It's hard to distinguish what's real and what's fake. But I mean, you could take anything on that scale. But in terms of the documentary format, I don't like it.
What's the documentary about that festival that they were putting in the
dude Firefest?
Mm-hmm.
Firefest, dude.
Yes.
So that's when I think I pulled away from documentaries, because after you watch it, if you do more research, it's made by the people that scammed everyone for Firefest. So it made the guy who created it look fucking like human. Like
no, there was two. There was two of them.
Well, the one on Netflix was created by the people that.
Yeah, I watched the Hulu one. That's what got me into documentaries. I would never watch them, and I watched that Hulu one on Firefest, and that's what sucked me in.
Because it actually shows the truth, while the one for Firefest and on Netflix is produced by him, and it almost like humanizes him and shows him all the real conflicts he had. So
I didn't know that.
Like, oh, like I can understand like an independent business venture to another man. Like I understand that, and then all of a sudden you that's how you get sucked in. So then, but then you have to look at every documentary that way, and then if you do look at every documentary that way, then documentaries aren't that fun to watch anymore.
Yeah, I did not know that. I didn't even bother watching Netflix one, just from like reviews like, oh, watch the Hulu one, it's way better. So I watched that one. I was like, holy shit, what a bunch of scumbags. And that's
oh yeah, if you watch the Netflix one, it makes them look like good guys the whole time.
Oh shit, yeah. I think that's what sucked me in.
You know how like you can be a people reader, like you can tell that he's a scumbag, but they twist the narrative to make him look like a good guy. You should definitely watch the Firefest one and let me know what you think, because you watched the Hulu one.
Yeah, I think I have like a whole list of not necessarily just documentaries, but so me and Amber right now are watching Waco, which it's not a documentary, but it's I don't know, it's a show about what happened during the Waco situation, whatever. And it was like, this guy that was being fucked with by the FBI and ATF in Texas, and they just killed the ATF and FBI killed all these like innocent people in this like church, and they're just like, yeah, they're terrorists, they're freaking, they're hoarding all these guns. But this show is showing you like the other side, so that's pretty good. And then there's another documentary about the girl that kind of scammed all these rich people. I don't know, she's like, she was not rich, and she made her way into like a rich crowd to make pretend she was rich, and they were just giving her money because they thought they would, like, obviously she's rich, so they would pay her back, and now she's in jail for that. And then so I think that'll be a good one, because obviously people would side with the poor people, not to like, oh, rich person got scammed out of like a tenth of his money, like suck. And then there's another show on Netflix that's the girl that murdered the guy that was trying to like, she was forced into like sex labor, and she murdered the guy that was trying to have sex with her. And that's another Netflix show about it. So it's pretty interesting to like see all those documentary reenactments. I don't know what you would call it, but it's interesting to see those come up.
Documentary format in terms of it.
The thing that's beautiful about Netflix and all these streaming services is you are seeing shows that or movies and shows and documentaries that you wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to watch, like whether it's a movie theater. Like I found myself watching a lot more movies on FX because it's almost like a bag of chips in the cabinet. Like you're going to go to that because it's much easier to consume than like making yourself a salad or making yourself a meal. So like it's the same thing with like FX. I found myself watching most of the comedies that were like constantly on FX because it was just so easy to just jump into that channel and watch it like playing. And I think Netflix has provided that binging that I don't know what the word is, like that, what a societal norm of binging movies and TV shows that necessarily we wouldn't watch on our own merit. Because I remember there was a time in back 10, 20 years ago where the only things you would necessarily watch were things you went out of your way to. And then that would almost kind of reinforce the quality because you were kind of picking and choosing what movies you're excited for. And if you were burned by a bad movie, you would kind of be a little bit more conscious of which battles you know, you knew if you watch an Avengers movie it's going to be good, but if you watch this kind of movie like a G.I. Joe, like you go there and then there's a little bit of a risk assessment, I guess. But with Netflix streaming direct and Hulu and Amazon and everything streaming directly to your home, I feel like there's not really a risk assessment. It's just pretty much like when you open up a fridge and like there's nothing to eat, and then 20 minutes later you open it back and like you lower your standards. I feel like that's what Netflix is now. Is like you're just scrolling through Netflix and you're lowering your standards, and then eventually you end up watching something that you wouldn't necessarily watch.
I feel like Justin could write a paper on the psychology and sociology of how Netflix creates an obsession and bingeful like platform to watch things on. I feel like I was just sitting here and JB's talking about it for like 10 minutes and I'm just like, yeah, I guess
our mind's just getting destroyed.
I guess if you break it down, yeah, that's pretty much what it is.